And he said that he did kill her.
Pam says Junior laid out the horrific details. They were neighbors. Christie was sitting on the guardrail. They talked and went back in the woods. Junior said he made a move and Christie fought back.
At that point, he said he tied her up, and then he said that she wouldn't stop screaming. So he picked up a 2x4 and just started bashing her on her head with it.
In the peaceful town of Columbus, Ohio, an unspeakable tragedy rocked the community to its core. Christie Lynn Mullins, a 14-year-old girl with a bright future ahead of her, had her life cut short in the most horrific way. On August 23, 1975, Christie vanished without a trace, leaving her family and friends in disbelief. How could such a terrible thing happen in a place where everyone felt safe? Welcome to Tried and True Crime, where we cover shocking cases from around the world. Today, we're looking at a case that has haunted the town of Columbus for over 4 decades. Columbus, Ohio is a vibrant city known for its rich history, cultural diversity, and friendly neighborhoods. With a population of over 900,000, it's the largest city in the state and the 14th largest city in the United States. However, despite its size, Columbus has long been considered a safe and welcoming place to raise a family. That sense of security was shattered in 1975 when a heinous crime took place in the heart of the city. Christie Lynn Mullins was born on August 28, 1960, to Norman Vincent Mullins and Phyllis Eileen Marine. She was a typical teenager, attending Whetstone High School and enjoying her favorite hobbies, such as swimming and spending time with her friends. Christie was a well-liked and active young girl, always eager to lend a helping hand and brighten the lives of those around her. Her parents, Norman and Phyllis, were devoted to their 5 children and cherished every moment with their loving family. Christie's kind and outgoing nature made her a joy to be around, and her family couldn't have been prouder of the young woman she was becoming. But unfortunately, that never happened. On that fateful summer day of August 23, 1975, 14-year-old Christie Lynn Mullins had plans to meet up with her friend Carol Reeves at the Graceland Shopping Center. Little did anyone know this innocent meetup would lead to a horrifying tragedy that would rock the entire community of Columbus. According to reports, Carol Reeves received a strange phone call earlier that day from a man with an Appalachian accent. This mysterious caller claimed there was going to be a cheerleading contest happening behind the Graceland Shopping Center that afternoon at 1:45 p.m. Intrigued by the prospect of a cheerleading event, Carol went to fetch Christie, who was swimming at the Broadmeadows Apartments pool with her younger sister. The 2 teenage girls then made their way to the back of the shopping center, likely anticipating an exciting cheerleading competition. However, when they arrived at the supposed location, there was no such event taking place. It seemed they had been tricked into going there. Confused and disappointed, Carol decided to quickly duck into the nearby Woolco store to check the time, leaving Christie sitting alone on a guardrail just outside the store's entrance. Tragically, those were the last moments anyone would see Christie alive and well. When Carol emerged from the Woolco store just moments later, her friend had vanished without a trace. There was no sign of Christie anywhere, and a frantic search immediately started. Witnesses reported seeing Carol back at the Broadmeadows Apartments pool between 2:30 and 3:30 p.m., likely in a panic trying to locate her missing friend. It wasn't until later that fateful day that a shocking and gruesome discovery was made. Christie's lifeless body was found in a secluded wooded area behind the Graceland Shopping Center, nearly 3/4 of a mile away from where she had last been seen sitting on the guardrail. The details of the crime scene were utterly horrific. Christie had been brutally beaten to death with a large board, her body left in a state of unimaginable cruelty. Bubbles of blood were reported coming from her nose, suggesting she may have still been alive when the initial blows were struck. Adding to the horrific nature of the crime, Christie's body was found face up with her hands tied together in front of her. Her blouse had been pulled down to expose her breasts, raising the possibility of a sexual assault. The fatal blows appeared to have been struck on the left side of her skull, leaving her face distorted and nearly unrecognizable. The news of Christie's brutal murder spread like wildfire through the community. How could such a heinous act of violence be committed against an innocent young girl in broad daylight? Residents of the Graceland shopping center area where Christie and her family lived were left feeling vulnerable and questioning how something so terrible could have occurred in their own backyard. As the investigation into Christie's murder began, a series of disturbing questions arose. What actually happened that afternoon? Who was responsible for this heinous act? And why was such an innocent girl killed in such a brutal and senseless manner? The community demanded answers, and the pressure was on for law enforcement to bring Christie's killer to justice. However, no one realized at the time that the road to finding the truth would be long, with twists and turns that would leave many questioning the investigation's integrity. In the wake of Christie's murder, the Columbus Police Department launched a massive investigation, determined to bring the perpetrator to justice. Initial leads pointed to a man named Henry H. Newell Jr., who claimed to have witnessed the attack and helped create a composite sketch of the suspect. Based on Newell's description, the police apprehended a man named Jack Allen Carmen, a 26-year-old with severe developmental disabilities. Despite his mental limitations, Carmen confessed to the crime after hours of interrogation, leading to his arrest and subsequent guilty plea. However, the case took a shocking turn when questions arose about Carmen's mental capacity and the circumstances surrounding his confession. The American Civil Liberties Union, or ACLU, stepped in, raising concerns about the validity of Carmen's plea and the handling of the investigation. As the case unraveled, it became clear that the police had made critical errors, including failing to properly interview key witnesses and mishandling evidence. Doubts began to surface about Carmen's involvement, and the once solid case against him started to crumble. As the investigation progressed, a series of new leads emerged, casting further doubt on Carmen's guilt. One of the most significant revelations came from Norman Mullins, Christie's father, who expressed skepticism about the official narrative. Mullins believed that his daughter would never have willingly accompanied a stranger into the woods, especially someone like Carmen. He questioned the physical evidence, arguing that Carmen could not have overpowered his athletic daughter and dragged her such a distance without leaving more signs of a struggle. Additionally, Mullins raised concerns about the timeline of events, suggesting that it was physically impossible for Carmen to have traveled from his location to the crime scene within the given time frame. Another critical piece of evidence surfaced when neighbors discovered a pair of men's cut-off jeans and blood-stained underwear near the murder scene. Despite turning these items over to the police, the significance of these findings was never fully explored, further fueling suspicions of a flawed investigation. As the case gained national attention, more and more questions arose about the credibility of the key witness, Henry H. Newell Jr. Neighbors revealed that Newell had a lengthy criminal record, including charges of arson and intimidating witnesses, casting doubt on his testimony. Moreover, Newell's own stepson contradicted his account of events, and a witness at Carmen's trial claimed that Newell had confessed to the murder, suggesting he had framed the innocent man. As the investigation unraveled, the spotlight shifted back to Henry H. Newell Jr., the man who had initially pointed the finger at Jack Carmen. Newell's past and inconsistent statements painted a picture of a man with motive and opportunity. Newell was no stranger to the criminal justice system. His criminal record included numerous charges, raising questions about his credibility as a witness and his potential involvement in Christie's murder. Neighbors described Newell as a volatile and untrustworthy character, with some even alleging that he had confessed to the crime during casual conversations. These rumors only added to the growing suspicion of Newell's involvement in the fatal events. As the years passed, new evidence continued to surface, further implicating Newell as the true perpetrator. Two of his own relatives came forward after his death, claiming that he had confessed to them about killing Christie Mullins. Polygraph tests confirmed these statements, adding credibility to the accusations. A review of the original case file found physical evidence linking Newell to the crime scene, casting doubt on the initial investigation's focus on Jack Carman. In a turn of events, Jack Carman's guilty plea was withdrawn, and he was granted a new trial in January 1976. During this retrial, a series of revelations emerged, further unraveling the case against him. New testimony from Newell's own family members directly contradicted his claims of being a witness to the crime, while another witness testified that Newell had confessed to killing Christie Mullins, albeit unintentionally. The defense also presented evidence suggesting that Carman, due to his mental disabilities, was incapable of navigating the city and committing such a crime within the given time frame. Witnesses attested to his whereabouts at the time of the murder, casting doubt on the prosecution's case. Despite the court refusing to exclude Carman's confession, the overwhelming evidence of his innocence was undeniable, and in a dramatic moment, the jury acquitted Jack Carman of all charges. The Christie Mullins case highlighted several critical social issues that continue to resonate today. First and foremost, it sheds light on the treatment of individuals with developmental disabilities within the criminal justice system. Jack Carman's initial confession and guilty plea raised serious questions about the interrogation methods used by law enforcement. The case highlighted the need for proper safeguards and protections to ensure the rights of those with intellectual disabilities are upheld. Additionally, the case exposed flaws in the investigative process, with mishandled evidence, improper witness interviews, and a failure to follow up on crucial leads. It serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of tunnel vision and the importance of a thorough and unbiased investigation, especially in high-profile cases. The murder of Christie Mullins left a lasting impact on the community of Columbus and the criminal justice system as a whole. For years, questions lingered about the handling of the investigation and the failure to bring the true perpetrator to justice. It wasn't until November 2015, 4 decades after the crime, that the Columbus Police Department finally acknowledged their shortcomings and officially closed the case. In a press conference, they apologized to the Mullins family and publicly named Henry H. Newell Jr., who had passed away in 2013, as Christie's killer. The investigation's mistakes were exposed, with police admitting to shoddy work and failing to follow up on crucial leads that could have implicated Newell from the start. The long overdue apology provided some closure for the Mullins family in their relentless pursuit of justice. But the man behind this horrible murder lived free and never spent a day in prison. Please let us know your thoughts on this disturbing case in the comments section below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more captivating true crime stories. We'll see you next time.